Wait. We're live to the whole world. And we'll wait a couple of minutes for people to get in here, if any.
Don't build too much suspense.
Exactly. Before I let out all the secrets.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about buying more cold
minutes
snap
for
since
people to get in.
hanging out, man? All that cold snap I was feeding you?
No, I'm actually enjoying a Dragon's Milk Reserve right now, and I forgot how delicious this is. It was in my fridge in the garage.
What is that?
It's a Dragon's Milk Reserve from New Holland Brewing Company.
But when it says milk, is that like a Guinness? Is that a stout?
I want to lean towards it being a stout. Yeah. I can't see it. It's in a dark bottle, but it tastes like it would be a stout. This is like the G8 Summit. Going on, everybody?
Doing good, feeling great.
We are. This is definitely something new, and I'm on this. We'll see how this goes here because this is the first time we've done it. So wouldn't surprise me if we're gonna have some issues. Hopefully not as bad as what the Twippies had to go through. We may have people going in and out. First of all, let's do this correctly, Cary.
Yeah, it's my first day. I don't know what I'm doing.
I think that's the right hole. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna change this link. And the thing it copied and pasted in here was that scammer's name. What the fudge? That is not...
You're still messing with the scammer.
Oh yeah, background man. He hasn't.
At some point, they have scammed you. If it's not money, it's your time, right?
Well, it may cover me up, but it's whatever, guys. Dragon's Milk is one of my favorites. All right.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, this is what you're seeing here, audience out there on the internet, is just a bunch of my LE members in my Patreon right here. Once a month we get together and shoot the shit and talk about everything pinball going on. And this is the first time that we're going to do basically maybe like the first hour of this, because it's usually 2 hours. And so the first hour, we're going to just sit here, and obviously we'll be able to go back and forth with the internet here, shooting the shit, talking about a multitude of topics. But I feel like I'll eventually do a video on this. But hold on. Let me first show you guys something here that are just joining. My buddy Eric at Titan Pinball has crafted me something. He was like, "Hey, do you have a vector file of your logo?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Send it to me." And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it." And I was like, "All right, whatever." So I did it because, that's all I need. Don't take much convincing. So I went by there yesterday, and he crafted up something for me, and I love it. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it, though.
Oh,
nice. Nice.
Oh, wow.
But, is that aluminum?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's aluminum followed by a couple of different layers. I'm guessing of some sort of poly of some, I don't know what it is, but he said that they had a crap ton of red, and he's like, I know what I could do with that.
Does it have sharp, dangerous edges?
Actually,
so.
He told me to be very careful with the metal, so I'm not going to attempt to run my finger across it, but he's like, be careful around those edges, and I was like, oh, I'll take your word for it. But, yeah, Stringer at it again. Can't believe Todd Tucky deleted his No, we didn't. Shut up. No, we did not delete his Facebook. Greetings from Thailand. Well, welcome to the show, guys. All right, so let's talk about what I'm currently going through and what has been going on for like days. And these guys on Patreon, they're a little bit in the know on what's going on. I haven't been telling them the whole conversation, so they're about to hear some of this for the first time. But I was contacted by a obvious scammer on Facebook Messenger. And you're like, Cary, how do you know it's a scammer? And I was like, well, first clue was that he didn't know who I was. And I'm not like, like, I can't believe you don't know who I am. But I feel like also in a way I'm kind of like Jack Sparrow from, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's one of those things where it's like, you may not like me, but you have heard of me kind of thing, So you may not watch my content, but you've at least heard of me. But this guy, let's start from the very beginning. And it's a lot. Like I said, it's been going on for friggin' days. I'm still scrolling up. Hold on. Because it's so funny, and because my method is if like they're scammers, they obviously want to take my money. That's all they care about. And so I mainly just like, I'm not the only person they're talking to. They're going across a bunch of people trying to get as much people and get their money as fast as possible. So I'm merely just, playing with the person, trying to waste their time rather. So he's like, Cary, I hope you're doing well. Sorry for texting you directly. I was wondering if you are a fan of pinball machine games. Already the lingo is off. I'm like, if you're a legitimate seller or anything like that, you don't call them that. And you would spell the individual's name correctly since their name is literally right above what it is. And so I saw that, and the person's name is Mike's Pinball Machines. I'm like, hello. So I wanted to kind of respond back with also some broken English. So I purposefully kind of do bad English here. And I'm like, hello.
I knew it sounded familiar. I got the same one.
Hello. Pinball games can be fun. You? He's like, oh, all right. Nice meeting you. I'm a fan too, like you, but not only a fan, I own a shop which I sell them to. So if you are interested in getting or have a friend or family, you can get them from me if searching. Thanks. I was like, I'm on to looking for Creature from the Arabian Nights game. Where are you located? Yes, I have the Arabian Nights game, and I'm located in New York, but I'm a businessman who works within the state and worldwide. I'm like, the wife really wants that Rush Hour pinball machine. If you have the limited edition of that game, yes, I have it. How soon are you needing it? I'm like, next week if possible. He's like, all right, possible. The Arabian Nights, right? No, Rush Hour limited edition. All right. Not more needing the Arabian Nights too? I was like, I could do that too, just be too expensive. He's like, that is true. Arabian Nights are very expensive. Just hold on. Let me check the Rush Hour machine and get back to you. Now, guys, like I said, this has been going on for days. And I would purposefully, not respond hours in between. This is not a constant conversation going on. It's just like, what the hell kind of thing. And so eventually, we're going to... Where hell? I know I didn't close it down. Where's it at? There it is. And he's like, hello, sir. Sad face. The last hour... The Rush Hour machine in my shop was sold, but the Arabian Nights is available. I'm going to ask my supplier about the Rush Hour and get to you if possible to get it by next week, but the Arabian Nights is available. I'm like, let me ask the wife what game she wants.
Rush Hour.
All right, ask her. I have a lot of games. I'm like, let's just see how much of research he's doing to respond back to me kind of thing. And I'm like, do you have Pinball Circus in stock? And he sent me images of Stranger Things, the playfield of it, which is an LE, it looks like, and a picture of a Rush playfield. And he's like, my supplier just sent me this Rush. Are you still interested? And then he sends me a machine name list of just a bunch of, kind of modern Sterns, a couple of older ones, including a Supreme. I'm like, okay. He's like, there are just a few of my games I have more. I'm like, not seeing any games on that list that I need. That is just a few of my machines. Let me know what type you are looking for and about the Rush I sent. And then hours went by, at least 3, and he sent me question marks. I'm like, what is the Supreme? And he's like, you need it? And he's like, no more interested in the Rush Hour machine? I'm like, well, if you don't have Rush Hour, if you had it, then it would be different. Only the Rush Hour you are looking for? There are not any order machine? Like, how would I go about purchasing a game? He's like, I need to know the game first. What type of please so I could tell you the price? And so I'm like, are you a distributor? He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, which pinball company you distro for? And he says, Bumper Factory. I'm like, okay. So I have to look up Bumper Factory. Evidently, I guess it's an arcade in New York. I'm unaware of this kind of thing. So I had to like Google it up. I'm like, what is this Bumper Factory thing? I know I've heard of it. But so then now I'm seeing some unsent messages here all of a sudden. And he's like, hello, sorry for the, and like, this is probably, how long has passed? Oh, 2 days have now passed. So I was like, so how much for Creature from Arabian Nights game? And he's like, hello, sorry for the late reply. This is what, 2 days. Sorry for late reply. My account went down due to some community standards, but it is published. Can we continue? And I was like, it was like literally 6 hours later. Yes. Okay, so you were asking for a price of Arabian Nights, right? Yes. Is the game for you, or do you want to resell it? I'm like, why would that matter? And he's like, all right, I'll let the game for 9,500. Are you okay with the price? I'm like, that's a bit high. I would need to see some images of the game to see the condition. All right, hold on, let me show you. So some time goes by, and then he sends me 3 images, one of which I found on Pinside. I'm like, all right, well, this is obviously someone else's game, and he's like snagging up pictures, and like, oh, this is what the game. And it's kind of funny is that the images of the game, 2 of them look to be, in the same room, and one of them is obviously not in the same facility, kind of thing, because the ground is completely different. It's next to a different machine. The floor is different, like different types of carpet and everything. So I'm like, some time went by, and I'm like, how does the coin door look? And he's like, the coin door is in excellent condition with no visible scratches or dents. It's the original coin door and functions properly. Again, he sends me a picture of the coin door, obviously a different machine than the previous pictures that he sent me. So I'm like, okay. It does look nice. Just curious if you could do better on the price. He's like, what is your lowest you could do for the machine? I'm like, I'm looking for one around 6,500. Maybe that one is too nice. He's like, can you do 7,500 for it? I'm like, he's like, is that okay with you? Because once again, I let time just go by. And I'm like, let me see what the wife says. All right. Hours go by again. I'm like, yeah, the wife won't let me spend over 6,800. Sorry. And he's like, all right, just because I'm looking for a fast sale, how soon are you interested in getting it? A day goes by. Hello? Question mark. I'm like, oh, wow. When can you send it? And he's like, whenever you are ready to get it. When are you ready to have the machine? I'm like, the end of the week or the end of next week, possibly? All right, all good. Can I have the following information so I could just register the machine under your name? He's going to register the machine under my name. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I'm not gullible at all, but I don't know if you saw that real Gary Stern has showed up on Sterling's camera.
Holy crap. I thought
He's
about
here to
buying
sell
that.
us pinball.
I thought about buying that and having my logo on his shirt or something.
And then in the chat, somebody else was talking about, I'll sell you Rush Hour. I remember that from Chris Tucker. And what was that? You speak my language?
Yeah, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, Jackie Chan. Rush Hour. I want a Rush Hour pinball.
There's Paul. He's like, machine under your name, which are your name in order, phone number, address, zip code, email address, if okay with you. And then he has 2 unsent messages. I don't remember what those said. And so, again, days have gone by. He's like, hello, Cary? Now, remember, he's already said my name a couple of times, too. I'm like, hello, sorry for the late reply. My response is literally the same message that he sent me a few days ago about why he wasn't able to respond to me for a couple of days. I'm like, hello, sorry for the late reply. My account went down due to some community standards, but if possible, can we continue? He's like, all right. Does the pinball games come with a certificate of authenticity? This is what I ask him. Yes, our pinball machines come with a certificate of authenticity. Yay, I say. All right, so how soon are you interested in getting the machine? My response was, more or less soon. Considerably less than more than less, though. And then so some time has gone by, and this is now in the evening of today. I'm like, so how how we get started. I can't read broken English, so me typing this out and then reading it back has become a challenge. And I'm like, so how we get started? And he was like, you were asking when you would be interested in getting the pinball machines, but your response was unclear, leading me to think you weren't serious about it. I'm like, well, I have many options online to buy pinball games. I'm trying to find the right one with the right price. But more importantly, I don't want to give my money to just anyone. I need to trust them. A simple thumbs up on my message doesn't give me much trust. I mean, how do I even know I'll get my machine if I send you money? And this is when this mofo copies and pastes an obvious like response kind of thing for anybody that's concerned about like, trust. He's like, I want to, because it's all in like great HR English. And he's like, I want to assure you that your trust and satisfaction are my top priority. As a reputable business, I take pride. It goes on about, I understand that this is sending money to someone you don't know can be daunting, but I want to assure you, and it goes on to another paragraph. It's a shame for a client to pay for a machine who received it, blah, 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 blah. Your satisfaction is my only priority. I'm committed to delivering the pinball, blah, 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 blah. Another paragraph. If for any reason I'm unable to fulfill your order, I'll refund your payment in full. I value your business and appreciate the opportunity to serve you. Please feel free to ask me any questions and concerns that you may have. We're getting near the end, guys. All right. I'm like, is there a warranty? If so, what all does it cover and how long? Yes, we offer a comprehensive, well, again, another copy-paste reply on this crap, dude. So it goes on, he talks about, it lasts for, our warranty covers mechanical and electrical components, including the play field and flippers. It lasts for 6 months from the date of delivery. During this time, we'll repair or replace any defective parts at no extra cost. And I'm like, just 6 months? Even on new games? Because I already know that, you have manufacturers like Stern that now give you the 1-year warranty for. And he's like, our standard warranty is 6 months, but we can offer extended warranties on new games. And so then I was like, will the manufacturer cover some items on Arabian Nights? If anybody knows, Williams is no longer in business, so the manufacturer is not going to give me any coverage on this game. He's like, the manufacturers on Arabian Nights typically covers major components like the playfield, flippers, and electronics. Nice, is my response. He's like, all right, have you made up your mind about getting the machine? Yes. How do we continue? So again, he sends me that paragraph that says, all good. And ask for my information, the name, number, and all that stuff. He's like, and so I send him, my name is John Smith. My name is obviously on the messenger thing, so that should have been a dead giveaway. Wait, that's not the same name that I'm talking to right here. And the phone number I put on here is a phone number that I literally got texted today from, that's a scammer wanting me to, do something. And so I put that as the phone number. And the address I have on here, if you look it up, it's the address to the Dallas Comedy Club. And my email address is wastingyourtime@lol.com. And he's like, all right, cool. So are you ready to proceed with the shipping fee now or not yet? I'm like, I'm ready. So what payment method are you familiar with? I'm like, I usually use cash. What is the preferred method? And he's like, what about Apple Pay, Cash App, or PayPal? I'm like, I guess I can set that up. Do I need to send payment to a certain address? He's like, no, don't send payment to a physical address. You don't have any of the methods I send? I'm like, I have a PayPal going now. What email address am I sending it to and how much? My PayPal account is currently on hold. I wonder why. I'll use a cashier's check instead. I'll send it over to you. And in the address is siriubaika@outlook.com. Use as family and friends, please. When done with payment, provide a screenshot of confirmation. Thanks. And then he says, quiet thump. It's not English, guys. It's not. He's like, you are sending $500 for the shipping fees and the rest upon shipping. And so my last response was, what was the final price of the game? ? And that's where we're at right now. It's still going, guys. But that's where I'm currently at with this scammer, guys. He's like, if he wants to try to take my money, I'm just going to take up his time. And it's just like, I get to the point to where I'm about to just be like, dude, like, obviously you're a scammer, and it's insulting that you don't see that you think that I don't see through it. So yeah, there you go. Has anybody else gone through something of that nature or been scammed out of money when it comes to pinball?
Oh yeah.
I got a message from that same exact guy about a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy how he hasn't been reported yet. Oh, he may have. That's why he was down for a couple of days. But I'm guessing
And he sent the exact same opening statement too. I just never responded to it. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Tom, I hope you are doing well. Sorry for texting you directly. I was wondering if you are a fan of pinball machine games.
Yep. So yeah, as Stringers pointed out, you do realize you're talking to more than one person. Yes, that's why I'm asking questions that he would have to search back through our previous dialogue, because that requires effort on their end. And so that's why I'm doing this, because I want to make it to where I'm like, oh God, what the hell did they talk about before I got here, kind of thing. And they have to do research. They have to actually work and try to reel me in. Like they feel like they're so close to getting $500 from me, and they're gonna get nothing.
Are you sure it's not an anti-fan? Like, I'm going to get Cary. I know his...
Well, he's obviously going after Tom, too. Is he an anti-Tom fan as well?
I got plenty of those.
We're all in trouble.
Should I tell him that I'm interested in Arabian Nights and willing to pay anything, and then get you and me in a bidding war?
Perfect.
I'll be like, he can have it.
I'll be like, I'm sorry, I just found one down the street.
I only get scanned when the top 100 players steal my cash at each tourney. What is it, Moxie? You want out of here or what? You just desperate for attention?
I was about to say, did I miss the memo for the cardboard cutouts tonight or something?
I know.
Everyone's just busting out Elvira.
Yeah, they all showed up during story time. They all were loving your story.
But yeah, I mainly just want to highlight. There's a lot of people out here that just don't know any better, and I wonder how many people they have suckered into with this, because they're not looking to just get thousands. They're just looking mainly for that first $500. That's all they care about is the initial shipping or the whatever. That's all they need.
Unfortunately,
oh yeah, I saw that on his Facebook page too, because I was like, let me look up this guy. What's going on, everybody in chat? You're probably going like, what the hell's going on? Who are these people? These are my fellow Patreon supporters on my top tier. Heck, even if you wanted to join into this chat and everything, you could right now, technically, because it's in my LE Patreon chat. Let's see here. But I showed off the sign for those that didn't get to see it yet. They probably can't see it because I'm behind the chat window. So let me present real quick so everybody can see this badass sign. Not my screen. Can I not just take up the whole screen with me? Can I not do that?
You gonna hang that above your bed?
Maybe. I'll be my luck. It'd fall off and decapitate me or something. Get me like a botched circumcision again or something. Let's see here.
Again.
Yeah, you got to hack at it every once in a while.
Got to finish the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got a semicircle. Sweet.
That large vein, I'm telling you, it's a bleeder. Be careful. All right, let's see here. I can't share, evidently, but I'll show it. Maybe you guys can see it past the chat. But my buddy Eric at Titan Pinball made me a very large logo sign that I need to figure out where I'm going to hang it up at. I don't know if I would create like I don't want to say shrine, but a wall of awards and everything, because I do have my awards from Texas Pinball Festival and my Pinball at the Beach, and I'm guessing eventually I'll get the Twippies that I got last night. So I guess that brings us to the Twippies. That's a segue for that. But we'll see here. All right. Oh, but Twippies. We sold those last night. Thoughts and opinions.
Congratulations. Can we all do a little golf clap?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was definitely, I didn't expect it. And part of the reason why I didn't expect it also is because Jamie's like, hey, I sent out a message to the people out there, the winners or whatever. So if you get a Zoom message or what you saw it during the Twippies, he was like, you might want to go to that thing. And I was like, well, I guess I didn't win anything because I never got sent anything. And then he sent me a message and he's like, he's like, "Hey, give me your email address." And that's the first time I've ever received anything from him on my phone. I'm like, "Who is this?" I was like, he's like, "Oh, I thought I sent it to you." So that's what he was talking about. I didn't send this individual the link or whatever. So that was me, evidently. But yeah, no, like I know I thanked obviously you, my patrons out there, my family and everything, but I failed to actually acknowledge the pinball industry in general, all the manufacturers that actually give me something to even talk about. So obviously a special thanks to them. That was one thing I did miss. Didn't like anticipate to have a speech or anything, let alone 2 in a row, for crying out loud. But thanks to everybody that did take the moment to do a vote and cast their vote in my direction. It means a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And let's see here. I got the chat right here. And let's talk a little bit about, because we were just recently at Pinball at the Beach. Jimmy, where the hell were you? You said you were gonna be going to that.
You said you were going to be there, Jimmy.
I know. Scheduling conflicts, last minute. Sorry about that. I'm going next year. I promise. I promise. Not that means anything.
Your promises
there is
mean
next
nothing.
Exactly.
Jimmy.
Terrible marriage.
So have you got any word yet? Are they definitely going to do it again? Or still thinking
Nothing
about it?
confirmed yet, but I have been told that whenever there is confirmation, then I will be one of the first to know, so I can, I guess, spread the word kind of thing. So when I know, you guys will know if they're going to do it again.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Let's see here. Well, and shout out to Cary's Ellie Patreon supporters. You're rad AF. Thank you, Angry Alpaca. Franchi's on here. He's like, "What the F? Is this some sort of hippie show about vinyl albums and something?" Yes. We're still waiting for William here to grow a beard or a mustache or something.
Not happening.
Oh, Molar Medic, you're a patron right here. You want to hop in here?
Send the link.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
kicking myself. I didn't go to Pinball at the Beach. It's only probably, I think it's like a 4-hour drive for me.
Yeah. Franchi, you
Yeah.
want to come on there? And maybe you can tell him the story you told me, or you want to save that for later?
Gee.
I want to get the details on that Pee Wee game. That looked great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
if he's up for the chat, he may just, okay, we'll let you get some clothes on. You're probably naked or something.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I love everything he does.
That I knew he'd like, let me get dressed. I knew he'd be naked. Maybe he's not on camera, he's naked. That's how he does his art. He told me. He's like, that's how I do my best work. Evil Dead artwork, completely nude. So think about that when you're playing that game, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that does make it more scary. Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
what they're
oh,
after.
God. What
That,
do you think he draws with? Ooh, inspiration.
that load the gun shot is fantastic on that game. That was great to play.
I thought
That
the
was a
flow was great. It really surprised me.
So like,
Really
did
solid.
did you order one? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
I'm-
yeah.
I'm getting
So-
number 93.
So are you a little more confident now after playing it and seeing it in person?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm a spooky fan. Been one for a while.
It'd be my first spooky Evil Dead.
Oh man. Like, where are you gonna put it? I guess if you get your games a little closer together, you got room back there.
Yeah, I got room over in front of me for like 3 more games and 2 more on the other wall. So I got room to grow.
Hey William, what topper did you get?
Oh, I got the
You got
Got
the live.
top.
real
I got
one?
the live one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And a butter cabinet.
Oh man,
Oh, yeah.
I keep thinking about upgrading to butter.
It makes it different. I like it.
It's
like
Very nice.
for
All
me.
my spookies. have
I don't
butter.
know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be getting their next game. I just don't know if I need to get butter or not. I know it looks great.
What's the price difference? Is it two grand?
It may change from now to
1400.
then, but it's like an extra 14 or
Yeah, it's like
1500 bucks.
1400 to 1500, and takes longer, which I kind of like because you're a little further back, and I'd rather be further back in the
Yeah, I
line.
told my distro. He's like, "You want one of the first ones?" I was like, "Hell no."
No,
Okay, we're gonna get Franchi in here. Let me send him a link. So, someone asks, has Kaneda resurfaced yet, or is he still in the fetal position? Did anybody happen to see Don.
I saw him on live
Don's
stream a little bit
Pinball
earlier.
Podcast earlier. He did a live session, and it was pretty funny. It was obviously making fun of him, but it was pretty funny. All right, let me send this to Franchi here. We'll get him in here to shoot the shit.
I didn't see it, but what? Give me the cliff notes on it. Just making fun of Canada.
Well, did you watch? Someone recorded. It looked like it was a screen recording of his reaction after the Twippies.
Oh, and his wife came out, was trying to calm him down.
So it was basically a play off of that kind of thing. And
yeah.
It's meant to poke fun. Well, and then we'll see how, if it gets out, how well it does on that. But
I thought she would stand up. If I acted like that, I would expect my wife to try to go, "Hey, dude, suck it up,"
That was the main thing that I got out of that 10-minute recording clip. I didn't get to watch it in person, but the main thing I grabbed out of that was Brenda is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the same thing.
He's reasonable.
That's a keeper right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched the whole thing. He does try to explain a little of his side.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit burnt from the amount of effort versus what is being witnessed. And it's not justified. It's not. But, the whole thing is sort of worth watching. The one that I watched had a penis drawn on it over top of him.
Yeah.
It was rightfully so. But, when somebody goes that low, I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I feel for them.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But it definitely was a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a drunken rant kind of thing. I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. But okay, I was like, okay, it's a Franchi, I sent you a link via Patreon. DCE. I'm guessing he's going to hop in after we get off the public, because he would usually be in here. DCE is so submitting $10. He's already paying me monthly, so he's like, let me send you some more. Like, what? Some people, like I said, other people would be in this chat, guys, but some people don't like to be in the public. And there he is!
There he is.
Franchi's in the house.
The legend.
You're on mute.
Uh-oh. Sound.
It's an application mute.
He's got his glove
There
on.
he is
Too,
now?
so, yeah,
Yes.
we got you.
Yeah, there you are.
He's got his
Yeah, you
gloves,
guys.
so he's recording, or he's drawing. Make sure it should have prompted you for what speakers and everything that you wanted to use whenever you were joining in.
Oh,
Canada blamed it on being hangry as he didn't have his Chipotle. That wasn't my only reason.
All right, hang on, because
That was part of it, damn it.
Okay, we hear you.
I can hear you through the. It's set up on the wrong speakers. I got to switch it, and I got to figure out how.
It's our first
So
day.
I don't know what program I'm in.
It should be the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Franchi. We went through this last time we were on the stream.
All right, here we go. System default. That's my only choice.
Yeah, only choice for
What does that
speakers
mean?
or for mic. Make sure you're having over the speaker, not the microphone.
It's saying my only choice for speakers is system default, which is not my headphones. Something screwy here.
And welcome to tech support, guys. Well, thank you for joining the chat as we troubleshoot Christopher Franchi's audio issue.
He might have bought Arabian Nights from a scammer.
Hold on. Try settings. Same.
Mhm.
All right. Well, this poses a problem because if I turn my speaker up, my computer speakers to hear you guys, it's going to pick up into my microphone.
Are you sure your headset's turned on? I mean,
But your software says my only speaker option is.
Molar Medic
Yeah.
bringing in the cash. So proud of you, Cary, for one of the best in the community. Congrats. I would be on, but my puppies will go nuts if I get on. My puppies aren't going nuts. They're back here.
That didn't work. Isn't this entertaining?
Yeah,
I'm gonna mute
I'm
my
enjoying
mic. You
it.
guys go ahead
This
and
is what
talk.
the
I'll
stream
work
should
this
I'm
always
out.
gonna
be. Us
Tippy
having a
next year.
conversation and then Franchi just trying to troubleshoot his audio issues.
Yeah, maybe he should share his screen with us, and maybe we could click on things.
Yeah, you want to give Bug a heart attack? Share your monitor with us, there, Franchi. He'd be like, "Oh God, no, 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 no." I have British Labs. They will go crazy, and it will all dogs barking. Oh goodness gracious, no.
Sterling,
Let's see.
where did you get the Elvira poster? That one.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he came from like Amazon a couple of years ago, honestly.
Thing's stellar and tall too.
Nice.
So another subject I wanted to talk about was X-Men, and Enzo, since you're on here and you're obviously a fan of the game, I'm curious what your thoughts and feelings are on the game currently, the latest code update or lack thereof. But as someone who's played the game extensively, I'd like to get feedback from you. What you think about it?
Look, I'm a big fan of obviously the layout. It's different. It's unique. The code, obviously, you know, we know it was early. We know it was pushed through. Whatever excuse was used. Look, obviously, the code that we just got is the code that it should have been if the game had come out probably in December as it was intended to. It is much better. It is more polished. Lighting, callouts. There's still a long way to go. I did speak to Wason the other night on Gonzo's, and you know they're working on it. We're going to get some pretty cool stuff that he kind of had hinted at. But look, it's addictive. Like mine doesn't have there was an auto plunge issue, no doubt about it. I had no problems with my play field. My shots were all makeable. It is temperamental. I feel that it has to be, you know, at 6.5 to 6.8. Any more than that, you know, it's difficult. But I enjoy it. But you know, again, it's subjective, right? Like it's. But the last code was polished. It was, you know, it's fixed up a lot of things. The modes are a little bit more engaging. I don't find it repetitive. A lot of people said that they're obviously choosing which one, and you know, you come back and you do the same ones over and over. I mean, that's like any game, though, right? So, look, I don't have any issues at all on mine. I've got a little bit of a ball hop issue, but you know, the Stern has a fix for that. They haven't publicly said that because apparently it's very, very small amount of games that have a ball hop issue. So if you need it, just call tech support and they'll send it out to you. I'm assuming it's similar to that one that guy's made on Pinside that just goes onto the on the left sling there. But I'm loving it. I'm a big Jack Danger fan. I'm a huge X-Men fan. Grew up with the comics.
Enzo,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you how you what do you think about the multi-ball in there? And I specifically mean, I felt like a lot of the danger room was too hard to watch, too hard to juggle, and throwing my multi-ball out a bit. What do you think in your experience with multi-ball on that?
I quite enjoy the multi-ball. Obviously, the danger room is there to, you know, to mess things up. I have a tendency to kind of stare in the middle, to stare my eyes in the middle, and then that kind of grabs everything in the same view, as opposed to you trying to turn your head. The fact that you can stack the multi-balls, although that's really hard to do, is great. But no, look, I think it's challenging. It's different. I mean, it's a game, like Jack said, it was there to mess you up with the ball and make the ball do weird things. I don't buy into the whole thing that the game was released with a flawed design. I think some people are just way too, you know, aggressive. But no, I enjoy it. And you know, from what I see and from what I tell, I do have another video coming. I can't say too much, but that video is going to clear up a lot of the whole X-Men drama, and what's happened, why there's been radio silence, what's expected, you know, what went down, and etc. etc. So hopefully we'll get that out next week.
Okay, I'm trying to. Franchi, he's working with the audio issues. I'm trying to help him with that as well. Because I played X-Men yesterday at my buddy Eric's house. He's got a premium, and it's one of those where I'm just like, I'm having fun playing the damn game. I'm like, yeah, the shots they feel great, and I haven't played it enough to complain about the code. But so I know people that own the game or play it all the time at locations. Like, obviously, they got more room to complain about it, but I don't really have a way to complain about it because I'm just like, as I'm playing it, I'm still, pretty damn new to it. But I do enjoy how the shots feel. So we'll see if Franchi worked out his issues right there. Did that fix it? No. Evidently, his microphone is not working now. So
he's just on mute. It's just software.
he's just on mute. Okay.
There you
Can
go.
you hear me now?
There we go.
Hey.
Yep.
Do you know what the problem was?
You?
Close.
All right. Well, everybody else doesn't know except you, but it was echoing like insane in my headphones, like with this like 5-second delay and just overlapping and overlapping.
You had YouTube open.
I had YouTube open.
I did that
Son of a
recently
bitch.
myself. I was like, why am I getting so much feedback? Like, oh, it's me. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. How's it going, boys?
Going good. So, Franchi, a number of things to chat about, but honestly, I think that a lot of people would get a good kick out of the story that you told me if you want to tell it, because I know that it might be a little embarrassing.
Hey, I wear my heart and everything else on my sleeve. I've never pulled any punches. Why start now, right? I told my mom this story.
So you guys that are joining in now on YouTube and everything, you're about to hear a story of Franchi. If you're eating anything, you may want to hold off. But
yeah, perfect.
He happened to call me as I was about to eat Chipotle, for that matter. So it was already kind of like
perfect.
But I'll let him start telling the story. Yeah.
Well,
I like to let the dogs in.
You guys were mentioning pinball at the beach, so this story takes place on my my travel home from that show, which was amazing. And I recommend anybody next year. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it again. I've been talking to Marshall about it. You have to go to the show. It's
absolutely
like, as far as pinball goes, I mean, I'll be honest, it's like half the size of TPF, but there's enough, and they keep the numbers low. And it's really not so much about that as much as like when you go to like Expo or TPF, when you're bored of playing pinball, and it does happen, you're like on a game for a couple hours, or a few games for a couple hours, and you're just like, I just need to not watch a ball bounce around. There's just so much to do at this show. You could literally walk to like 15 different restaurants, and I'm talking great food, not shitty hotel food. It was a really good time. So anyway, so I'm coming home. Flying home to Detroit, and when I'm an older dude. How old am I? 58. So I'm getting to that point where when you got to piss, you got to piss. In fact, pretty much whenever I stand up, it's like, oh, all right, now I got to piss. So I got on the plane having to piss, and I had a 2.5-hour flight. Not a big deal. It wasn't super bad, but when I had no problems. I don't like using the airport bathrooms because my dick's so big, there's no room. It's just so confined and horrible, and you're trying to flush, and my body doesn't contort, so I can't do that. But so I land in Detroit, and there's a bathroom right there at the gate. Of course, I land at the farthest gate possible from, getting to your car, which is always the case. Whenever I take off or land, farthest one down the airport. I land, go in, take a whiz. Everything's great. Feel awesome at this point. I'm a bit crippled because my knees are bad, and I have not gotten them fixed because I was worrying about my dog, and then my mom had a bunch of problems. But anyway, so this trip going back to my car is a strain on my knees, and I'm having a tough time. Once you cross over from terminal into parking structure, no bathrooms. You're on your own. As I'm walking over the bridge to the parking structure, it hits me that I have to shit. And I'm like, that's great. And you can just tell it's not one of those normal shits. What you'd call maybe a nimbus shit, a nice puffy cloud poop. No, No, it's something else. It's something evil. So I'm like, well, that's great. And when I cross over, I'm again at the farthest part of the of the parking structure. So I have to cross over in the middle and take these, what are those flat escalators? I don't know, what are they called? People movers or something?
People mover.
Yeah, I have to take those. But of course, we're in Detroit, so I get to the first one and it's not working. Awesome. So I'm walking down this thing, and it feels like I'm walking in wet cement because I have to shit so bad. I'm just like, oh, not gonna make it to the car. Oh. So I stop at like halfway and I just do this major suck in. And I'm like, all right, I think I got it back up into a safe place. And I start walking, and then I get to the next people mover thing, and it's working. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I get a little bit of a break. But because I got a break, I bent over and I leaned on the handrail because my back was sore and my legs were sore. And apparently when you bend over, it tells your body that you're ready to shit because you're in prone position.
It don't get any better, guys. Trust me, it doesn't get any better.
So I bent over and I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh. Stand back up real quick. And I'm like, I can't let that happen. Get through this thing, get to the elevator. And when I hop on the elevator, I start thinking like, I might shit my pants in this elevator. And then this woman walks on, and I don't know where she came from. It was like the devil just dropped her in front of the elevator and said, here, get on, fuck with this guy. So she gets on, and I'm like, oh no, I can't shit. Like, I can just imagine me sitting there in one corner of the elevator, her in the other, and I'm just looking at her going, oh, and just letting it out. And she's like trying to beat on the door, like pushing the open the door button, get me out of here. Somehow I get through the elevator ride, and I start walking to my car, which luckily isn't that far from the elevator. Everybody's walking away now. This is going to get real bad. I don't want to hear this. Don't go away. I'm getting to the good point.
I was just getting you the award for this story.
It's not shaped like that. Do you have a trophy shaped like mud?
Well, it doesn't come out like this, but it swirls, and you just put the cup underneath of it and catch it.
Okay. So I'm walking to the car, going through the parking lot, and game over. It's coming out. Oh my God. I've never done this in my life, but I'm like, I'm going to have to shit in public. So I walk between two cars and like, where the cars are parked.
Oh,
where I'm talking about, it's like there's these long aisles, and then there's this sort of T aisle, and there's cars parked along that little T part that are up against a wall. So I'm like, cool, I'll walk between two cars, get up against that wall, and release.
Right there with you.
So I did. Walked up to the wall, turned around, pulled my pants down, stuck my ass out, and created the most beautiful Jackson Pollock painting you can imagine. As I'm doing this, a car comes down the long lane, and the headlights are right on me. I'm like, oh, this is that. Thanks so much. Great timing. So I'm like, I just bend over like this. So like, if they see anything, they're going to see the top of my hat and my shoulders. They won't know who I am. When they pulled up and got close to me, they're like, oh, and they just took off real fast. They knew what was going on. So anyway, after I did this, and of course it was a big mud pie, it's like, I don't have any toilet paper. And there's just this disaster going on.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, so I pulled my pants up, but for some reason I didn't fasten them. I'm just like, I'm going to hold them up because maybe they won't touch my body as much, but not thinking like I'm going to have to sit in a freaking car. So I get back to my car, and when I get to my car, I have to shit again. Like, no. Back up against the wall, do the same business. At this point, the back end of my car's opened, and my luggage is in the car, and there's a bag with some t-shirts that I bought for my daughter and my grandson and whatnot.
Oh God, no.
I grabbed the t-shirt from my grandson. I'm like, he's not going to miss this. Wipe my ass with it. And then I'm like, well, I can't put this in the car now. It's going to make me. So I just threw it in the shit pile, left it behind, get in my car. I pull my pants up and all that. Get in my car. And I had already done damage to the drawers from the first time. So when I sat down, everything that was on my boxer briefs and all that just all over my ass. And I'm just like, this is nasty. So I'm driving home, and every time I drive home, does this story ever end? Every time I drive home, I hit my GPS.
This is very detailed.
Yeah, there's more coming, fellas. There's more coming.
I gotta hold up right here because you've got to imagine the airport, custodian, employees, people that usually work there or have security that has to drive around. What they're gonna find is two massive piles of liquid shit and a shitted on T-shirt.
I should have left a tip.
And it's like they're gonna be like, what the hell happened?
Well, being that it's the Detroit airport, I'm sure there's video footage somewhere.
Detroit airport just blends right in with everybody else's behavior. All right, so I get in the car, put in my GPS. For some reason, my new car has different sorts of GPS that takes me this strange way where I kind of go through the shitty part of Detroit to get out onto where I live, which is out in the suburbs. So I'm taking this road that I live on, but like 15 miles north of where I am, and everything's just boarded up. Everything's boarded up. Like not just this party store or that bank or whatever. Everything's got wood on the windows. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get carjacked. I'm driving through here, and I get up to some primarily there was no traffic, but I get up to an area where it's getting a little congested, and I'm starting to worry because all the windows are tinted and the windshields are tinted. You can't see anything. There could be a robot driving this car for all I know. And I'm just like, this isn't good. And then the crossing gates come down, and a train that must have been as long as Pennsylvania drives through, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. In the meantime, these cars are positioning themselves behind me, next to me, and in front of me, so that if I wanted to get out, I couldn't. I was boxed in. And what's strange about that, because you're thinking like, well, big deal. That happens when cars start to pile up. No, the two cars on either side of me, one of them was in a turn lane, but he wasn't turning. There was no traffic because of the train, but he was just parked next to me. The other guy had about 3 or 4 car spaces ahead of him, but he wasn't pulling up. He was just parked next to me. I'm like, well, this is going to be it. We're just going to jump in from all 4 sides, and I'm gone. And right about at this point, a train starts coming the other way. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, and then the one train ends anyway. So to make a long story longer, I didn't get carjacked. The train took about 25 minutes. I start moving forward again. I finally get home. All right. Oh, I'm home. I don't have to shit, but I take all my clothes off and I take a shower, clean everything up, fresh new pair of boxer briefs. I go sit on the couch. I'm like, what a night. This is horrible. I'm sitting there, and then I'm like, oh, I got to shit. All right. I stand up, I take 2 steps, and I cough. And when I cough, this fucking meatball shoots out of my ass right into my clean underwear. I'm just like, God damn it. You gotta be kidding me. So, go into the bathroom.
Oh, when you told me this story, it was a meatloaf, not a meatball.
Yeah, it was.
This is your second time hearing the story, Cary?
This is a very large meatball. Yeah, had to scoop it out.
Cary, you're the favorite for the Twippies next year on this broadcast alone.
This is you thought me holding up a firearm about John Wick. Nope.
Yeah.
Talking
So
about Franchi shit.
Second shower, another pair of underwear. I went to bed, and that was my poopy night.
That's a really shitty story there, Franchi.
Yeah.
I want 1 month of LE back for that.
I'm sorry, guys. So you want to talk about Pee Wee?
Yeah, let's bring it on, man. What the hell happened with that?
Well, all right. So I know.
Transition.
I know Pee Wee's agent. Yeah, I'm trying to spin it into something good. let's get off the poop. I know Pee Wee's agent, so I was talking to American Pinball. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, why would you waste a title like that on American Pinball? Well, I felt sorry for him. It's like everything they tried. You know, people blame Fix a lot, and Fix did not make all the right decisions. I will admit that, but his hands were really tied by a company that just was not interested in their pinball division. They wouldn't let him do anything really. So it's tough to, it's like being an artist and they hand you a box with like 14 crayons and they scoop 13 of them out and they say, here, now do what we paid you to do. And you're like, with this, anyway, so I felt bad. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to find like what kind of connections I have. How can I help them out, get them a license, something to work on. And I thought Pee Wee would be great. So I brought that up and Fix said, yeah, let's set up a meeting and talk to him. And, in the meantime, I had an art package kind of halfway done and I finished it up. So we'd have something to present, because that's always better when you can show them something. Then they get excited and they get behind it, and they especially want to deal with you because they've seen what you've done. Unless unless what I did was shit, which at any chance it could be. If it's good and they like it, then they're going to get behind you and they're going to want to work a deal. So we did that. Got to meet with Paul Rubens, the guy who plays Pee Wee, which I have never done in my entire lifetime, though I've been a fan my entire life. So it was very cool to show him the artwork, and he really liked it. But what was interesting was he was asking what the timeline was like. He goes, how long is this going to take to produce? And Fix was saying, like, well, with the time to develop the game and get it built and all that, we could be looking at 1.5 years. And he just like all the wind went out of his sails. He was like, oh. And nobody wants to hear that it takes that long to do something, but there's just something about this that was off. And 2 weeks later, he died. And that's why because he knew he was going to die. He didn't tell anybody. And so he was disappointed because he knew he was never going to see it. Basically what he saw from the artwork I showed him was all he was ever going to see. He would never see the game get developed and all that. But after he died, that was right around the time that all the problems started happening with American. And so everything was kind of pulled back, and that was my pet project. So there were other things that they were still moving forward with, but I had nothing to do with that. But with Pee Wee, we kind of put that on the back burner and, to wait and see what happened. And the next thing you know, they cleaned house and all that. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to work for a company like this, so I'm taking this project somewhere else. And basically, everybody was pretty much well set with licenses, and they were like, we wouldn't be able to touch this for another 4 or 5 years. And if they were able to do it, they weren't interested in doing it. And then Stern, I won't work with Stern, so they didn't even factor in on this, and I don't know if they would want to do it. I know Jack Danger, he actually texted me since this artwork was released, and he said, you're not doing Pee Wee without me. But I'm like, well, if you're working at Stern, it's a good possibility that I will do it without you. But yeah, so I'm just like, well, I'm gonna, every once in a while, I'm sitting on a lot of stuff that you guys have not seen. And some of it one day might see the light of day. Some of it might not. I'm going back and forth with Chicago Gaming right now about a game that I did for them about 3-4 years ago that they keep telling me they're going to renew their license and they're going to put it out. I'm like, no, you're not. It's too long. And now you got other things going on. I'm going to post that art. Don't post it yet. Don't post it yet. So there's more stuff to come. But yeah, I posted that art and everybody went like nuts. Like it was like everything that anybody who told me I don't think that will sell, everything everybody said was the exact opposite. Like I would buy. People were saying that even if American Pinball made that game, they would buy it.
I would have bought it.
No, that's saying a lot. If you're going to buy it from a company not going to have parts, not going to have technical support, will probably be gone in 6 months. That says a lot. So
you talk about a game that would have to have a surmountable like toys and things and underneath the play field. That would be one of those that you'd have to have a lot.
Well, I wanted to have something that was like that. What do they call that? Rue, where the hammer
Rube
hits the ball.
Rube Goldberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the breakfast machine kind of thing. I wanted to have something like that where the ball could, like, it would be some special thing where if you got a certain jackpot or whatever, the ball would travel down this ramp and do this crazy thing. But I don't design games. I just, I have ideas that are usually stupid. But the license, the property, the IP, it just so translates to pinball. Like, I just don't know why anybody's not thought of it, but I think they think, one of the big resistance I got maybe 2 years ago was that whole thing that happened with him at the movie theater in Florida, like 800 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way over. That's way over.
Yeah. People forgot about that. His show came back.
Remember when he came out on the MTV Awards and said, "Heard any good jokes lately?"
Yeah.
I thought that killed it right there.
That was brilliant.
Times have changed. I mean, Christopher, I just met you for the first time and you invited me to sit on your face, and I understand that to be a positive gesture nowadays.
Exactly. Please enjoy.
Man, pinball at the beach, you're gonna get everything, guys.
Oh yeah, Franchi the Speedo, heads up. So yeah, I put a new meaning to the term banana daiquiri.
Yeah, I did zoom in on that Pee-wee art. That was definitely the play field for Galactic Tank Force, though, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because because when I designed it, it's designed for the templates for American Pinball.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest way to make a mock-up of that, which is what you saw, that wasn't a 3D model, that was literally a photo of Galactic Tank Force, and I just photoshopped the art, onto all the different panels. So I just blurred the thing, because the game wasn't developed at that point. You know what? You're not going to spend money. I mean, I shouldn't have done the art to that extent. They're most certainly not going to pay a designer to design a game before they go to Pee-wee and say, can we do a deal? So there was no play field to be had. And that's funny. Every time, pinball people are funny. You give them this and they always want this. So when you post and said, hey, here's something you'll probably, never thought you'd see. Here's some artwork that's not going to get made, for a hobby where something doesn't come out very often, something new. It's fun for people to see stuff like that. It gives them something to talk about or whatever. And then they see it and everybody goes, what's your playfield look like? Can I see that?
Yeah. It's one of those. Really? I think that this is even for the license holders out there. Sometimes they just need some visual aid to spark up the interest enough to where they're like, you know what? Maybe we could do this, or maybe this is something that we want to pursue. So I think you showing your artwork off like that is one of those where it's like, hey, we're seeing interest now that people have seen what it could potentially be, kind of thing, versus just like imagine.
Well, see, the key thing is it's also very helpful for us in that it translates their property into pinball art, because a lot of times you get resistance, like, oh no, I don't want you to draw us, use our photos, and it's like, but people who buy pinball, artwork's part of the thing. If you give them some photoshopped art package, they're going to be disappointed. They're not going to want it. Some people buy pinball on art packages alone. So doing something like that helps them to see this is what it would look like if we did artwork. And, as if you're happy with this, and you'll be happy with the end product, and they'll sort of let go of that notion where they, we need to use photos instead of artwork. So it's kind of a twofold bonus.
Yeah, we need to, in your spare time, Franchi, which I know you have like a whole shit ton of.
I'm here, aren't I?
In your spare time, you need to start doing some games that everybody's always talking about. One of them, like Fifth Element or something. Let's see you do some Bruce Willis and Lee Lu and everything. That would probably spark up some interest, and maybe some manufacturers would be like, "We should do this."
Well, I mean, usually when I do something like that, as far as putting an art package together for something that people aren't going for, or I'm not getting paid for, it's something that I'm into. Not really into Fifth Element, but I would love to finish an art package for Prince and get someone to make that. I just think we need to move forward in the music. You know, it's funny you hear Gary Stern talk, and they're always like, we got to get the little ones out there playing these games. Yeah, let's get the little ones out there playing Rush and Led Zeppelin and all this other shit they've never heard of, you know? Like, can we move this forward a little bit? Can we at least get to the 80s? That would be great. If we could get to the 80s. So, you know, I'm all for doing, you know, something like that. I would really like to do Prince. I think that would be a good one.
Oh yeah, Prince would be great.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, I thought would be fun. Like, it's as far as something musical but different.
It's one of those things. There's actually some psychology to this when it comes to nostalgia. Evidently, it's the 30-year mark where things become nostalgic. And so it's like they have to start diving back into the 90s at this point in time to reach in for that nostalgia feel, which I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, a lot of good stuff came out in the 90s that we would like to see today, but definitely a lot of great things came out in the 80s as well. And so I'm just kind of curious about, I'm wondering, there's like a lot of good titles out there. I just don't know if a lot of them think that they're going to be able to obtain these licenses due to certain restrictions. I've heard that, let's just go back to Fifth Element real quick. It's like Bruce Willis is evidently like difficult to obtain, you know, his likeness or whatever. So it's stuff like that. And you can't make a game.
They got him in Pulp Fiction, man.
Yeah, when the main guy.
That's right.
Well, that was what's his name? Who's the director?
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, that was Tarantino's doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the way Slash maneuvered, you know, Paul McCartney. It's like when you got someone like that with that kind of power, you know, behind it, then they can make phone calls and they can make things happen. So that's all that was just a couple of phone calls. You know, Quentin Tarantino and Bruce Willis, sure, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the nostalgia, like, I'm a big toy collector, if you can't tell.
A little bit, yeah.
And like, nostalgia's running the market for toys right now. Everybody's remaking like Mask and Micronauts and old Ninja Turtle figures, and like even the big companies like Mattel, who's got the license for Marvel, is doing these old Secret Wars action figures that came out in the 80s. McFarlane's doing Superpowers figures, which came out in the 80s. And they're all, even the figures are all dumbed down to be like shitty figures that you would have gotten in the 80s. You know, like, well, it moves at the, you know, top of the leg and the head. And that's about it. But people are eating this shit up because it's nostalgia. It's
Dungeons and Dragons has had a pretty good comeback as just a game in general. You think that was a pretty good move for Stern?
Well, for me, it's like, Franchi doesn't say this, but this is one of my first things that I talked about. Is like, I felt that this is definitely, you know, Brian Eddy's best design with Stern so far. And when it comes to code, I think it's going to be polarizing because it's going to be different than where a lot of people are used to. And that's not going to say that, you know, it's not good. It's just that I think some people are going to at first be kind of like, I don't know about this. And it's going to require it probably to grow on you. And I think that once people give it a chance and actually get into it, they're going to realize that it's a little more entertaining than they think it is. And from what feedback I've read so far, it seems like everyone, or majority at least, are really enjoying what they're seeing with D&D.
Yeah, the problems I see with that, if someone would ask me, is that the game lends itself to be an ass pain of a code. You know, one of those real deep ones like Jersey Jack does, where people are just like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like, I need a map to figure out. So there's that, and plus they're like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons isn't like Uno or Monopoly. You know, everybody. It's not a family game. It's like these people here. Now, I've been a nerd all my life as far as comic books and toys and all that kind of crap. I know these people. And they don't have money for pinball. They spend all their money on packs of cards, and they're like, you know, of course they'll grow up and they'll make a little bit more money. But I thought it was too niche of a thing, you know. And this is something about the game. Sometimes the game can be so fun that it overpowers. And it was like, I'd say that's even the case with Evil Dead, because a lot of people are like, Evil Dead, you know, but they play the game and they're like, I can't say no. I have to buy this because it's an awesome freaking game, and I'm going to have to deal with my kids looking at creepy zombies in the basement. It goes with the territory. So I think that's gonna save that game a bit, because it's a fun game and people enjoy it. They'll overlook that, but I don't think it's gonna set the world on fire with sales, because I just don't think it's something that appeals to enough people. And $12,000 is a lot of money to ask for something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and especially since, I mean, for those of us that are like, deep within the hobby, kind of are somewhat aware of what's coming down the road very soon. And some people kind of want to hold off for just a little bit, just to see if the next title is going to be something that interests them, opposed to what is currently available, kind of thing.
well, me working for Spooky and knowing that they don't have the kind of, marketing dollars that Stern does, I just keep telling people, hey, if you want to buy a game and you haven't bought one yet, you don't want to buy Evil Dead, you might want to save your money for the end of the year. Because I know what's coming, and so do you, Cary.
Yeah, and it's one of those where I'm just like, oh man, and I'm definitely interested in it, kind of thing. I know we've got a seminar coming up at TPF, Franchi, and talking with the Spooky crew. I'm going to assume it's you. Do you know if it's going to have Hilton and
I have no idea. They didn't say anything to me about it, but they wouldn't. That I would see Bug, over at the booth in TPF and be like, "Oh, hey, we're going to need you at 2:00." That's the way he operates.
Yeah.
So,
by the way,
yeah, I don't know who's going to be there. I know. As far as I know, I shouldn't say 100% for sure. Hilton was really only sort of a consultant, because I know that I worked with Ben Heck on Evil Dead mostly.
Yeah. Pretty sure Ben Heck said he's going to be there at TPF, so yeah, I'm sure he'll be up there as well. So it's probably going to be you, Luke, Bug, and Ben. I don't know if anybody else, but it's probably close to what we had last year.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about or anything. I know. I don't know if I can. I'll say it anyway. I better not.
If you question that you have to say it or not, don't. I don't want to get you in trouble. But it looks like people are got one here. Goth Gloom says they're picking up their Evil Dead at TPF. So while the game is there, if you know which for sure is yours, then Franchi will be there. Have him sign your back glass or something, or your apron.
They had 5 at Pinball on the Beach, and I had to sign all 5. The day I was leaving, they're like you got to get back there and sign them. And I'm like, I can't fit back there. So they're like trying to move machines around because I got to get going to the airport. So I'm back there like, I can't barely. But yeah, I signed them all. And if you bought one and it's coming from there, I'm happy to sign it for you wherever you want.
If you didn't sign all of those, you would have made it to the bathroom.
Damn it. Stupid pinball buyers.
Always in the problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to going there. I just reserved my scooter. I feel like I tried to convince Bug to get one. I'm like, I'll order one for you and I'll pay for it. He's like, no. And I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to be. I hate people looking like, look at the old fat guy. Like he used to go to a scooter because he's old and broken. And it's like, no, I just got a bad knee, but it's like I haven't taken care of it. So, but yeah, I did try to convince Bug. Like, I'll get you one. You can ride around with me, and I won't feel like the only idiot. No, that's cool.
I could see you guys racing down the hallway and everything.
I'm telling you, man. If you can get over the humiliation of feeling like you're on one of those 4:00 in the morning infomercial, I love my new scooter from Spiffy Way. It's really got pep.
What did Homer say in The Simpsons? Why am I using my legs?
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm telling you, tooling around. There's a lot of walking at those shows, and I always wear these crappy like Converse that don't have good support in my shoes. And I've been loving riding around on that scooter, man. I'm telling you, that thing's a game changer. But you got to get past the whole embarrassment thing. I don't know, whatever. Because I always worry that people aren't going to know that I have a bad knee. They're just going to be like, he needs a scooter because he's fat. It's like, Yeah, you know why I'm fat? Because I sit at the desk all day and draw pictures for you. That's why I'm fat. That's a sacrifice I make. Granted, I get paid very well to do it, but I'm fat because I sit in a chair all day.
The hero we need.
Yeah, it's tough to sacrifice, man. It's some artist was telling me that if he could do it all over again, he'd cut off his hands.
Oh man.
And
Wow.
and I'm like, explain that to me. And his explanation, which I could never paraphrase as deeply as he did, was just like what you go through as an artist and the sacrifices that you make. He just wouldn't do it again. And I'm like, wow, it kind of made me reflect on the sacrifices I made. I always thought like, well, hey, it beats digging ditches, but it's a tough job. It's not, you like I said, hey, I'm wearing a 5X shirt. That's a sacrifice. Because when you get old, you got to move around. Like you don't lose weight like you do when you were a kid. And when you sit in a chair, and now I have a bad knee, so I can't even take my dog for a walk and get any exercise. So now my doctor wants to put me on Ozempic, and I'm just not. I don't like taking drugs for anything, and but I have to do it because it's probably the only way I'm going to be able to lose weight. I keep bringing this party down with shit stories and my poor knee and everything else.
What else? We got a question here from TZD. Did you get a new shirt for your grandson, or send someone back to pick up the other one?
Just wring it out.
Oh God!
Here, what's that smell? It's a scratch and snip. It's a poop shark.
It's gonna be like the gold watch on Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. No, I think what I'm
just I would have just said goodbye socks.
No, goodbye socks. Yeah, the socks.
Yeah.
Well,
have you seen the size of his crack though?
Hey, no, the problem with that is I need to sit down to take my shoes and socks off because I'm fat. So it would have been hard to try and get my socks off, And with my luck, I'd probably have shit my pants, trying to get the socks off, and then it would have got all over my feet. I don't want to talk about poop anymore.
Yeah, I
but,
know. There's a lot of shit talking going on in this.
There's
unusual.
There's extra shirts on the website.
Can I just say something? I'm never going to look at the word spooky the same way ever again.
Yeah.
What does that say? Poopy pinball?
Spooky. Yeah. Spooky.
Man.
I think the website. Well, I know the website. I saw them advertise that they still have leftovers, so I'm hopefully I'm able to get one. He doesn't know he was getting it, so if I don't give it to him, it's not like he's going to be like, "What happened to that shirt?" It was just a surprise. So, and I'll probably give it to him, and he'll go, "Thanks," like all the kids do. It's not a toy over the shoulder.
No, this time he's gonna sniff it. It smells so good.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what I went through to get you that shirt, mister. First of all, it cost me $80 because I had to buy it twice.
You talk to Ed, I'm sure he could probably send you another one. I mean, no big deal. What happened to your other one? Like, okay, well, it's on Cary's stream. You can hear the story then.
They tried to give me the first batch, but I don't do that. As much as I completely appreciate it and told them I appreciate the offer, it's like, look, you guys are printing these shirts. Like this money is not going in your pocket necessarily. It's, if the show's successful, you're going to do another one. And I'm not going to be that guy who's like, yeah, I was a special guest here. I want some free shit. No, I paid them for it. I paid the full price for everything.
Yeah, I bought my shirts as well. But no, I this was definitely. Let me talk to the crowd and the public and everything right now. This was I don't want to say a one-off, but this is the first of, I guess, down the road I'll probably do it again. For those of you out there, this is what I typically do once a month for my LE tiers. We get together and just talk about pinball. I have a whole bunch of topics here, but I did not expect Franchi to hop on and
holy cow,
and
tell us a big story and then go off.
What do you mean you didn't expect? You asked me to tell
you asked me to come on.
I didn't expect you to be like, hey, yeah. If you would have been like, no, I'm too naked or whatever kind of thing, then I've been like, okay,
too
cool.
Naked.
I want 1 month of LE back for this.
But I'm gonna end the public stream for this, so that way we can move the rest of it behind the paywall and everything. This is mainly just to give you guys just a little hint of who we might have in here. I know there's some LE members that are in the chat. waiting to get in here because some of them don't want to be on, public, and that's their, they can do that. That's fine with me. But I definitely want to get some of those in here, the ones that are waiting and everything, and we can talk about a lot of stuff, things that are around the corner from certain manufacturers. Maybe Franchi's got another story he could tell us.
Speaking of around the corner, there might be some hints on the shelves back here.
Oh no, we better end the stream now.
Yeah. What's back there? What's back there?
All right, guys. Good night to you, everybody on YouTube. I will catch you on the next one. Love you long time. Again, thank you for all your Twippy votes out there, and more stuff is coming.